Hey everybody. Okay, so you knew it was coming. I wanted to make a video to voice my thoughts on the whole Broncos Jets Tebow fiasco. Um, I have been a supporter of the Florida Gators since 1997, and subsequently I became a supporter of Tim Tebow as an athlete. Um, was there for some of his freshman games and got to see him when he said he was going to stay another year. Was in the swamp, was in the stadium. Um, when he said that, sharing with everybody and doing all that stuff. Um, so I am a Tebow supporter. Before the external drama that's come surrounding Tebow, which has happened subsequently in the last few years, which is great because I think he's a good person and he deserves recognition. Obviously, he proved to be one of the best quarterbacks in college football and one of the best players in college football. So um, the media attention that he's gotten, I think, has been well deserved. Obviously, it's a little crazy, and you would kind of want to die down so the guy could have a life, but whatever. Okay, I'm off track again. The thing is like last season, I was watching a lot of NFL games, and obviously, I was supporting the Broncos as a result of supporting Tim Tebow because I have never had a main NFL team that I supported, but since I like Tebow as a player, I said I'm going to support whichever team he goes for, which I think a lot of Tebow supporters thought the same way. So obviously, I was watching all the Broncos games, and would go out to the bars to check them when they weren't airing them on the East Coast. And and what was annoying me was that every single time I think Tebow was doing good and the team would rally around him and everybody was supporting him, they would always cut back to John Elway, and he was always grimacing or he just half-heartedly applauded. Like I think he's like, "Yay, my team won," but I think the reason he'd even put Tebow out there in the first place was to get the fans off his back. And I think he threw Tebow out there expecting him to fail. And I think what he didn't take into account is the type of character, personality that Tebow is that if you put him in a position of leadership, which I think he kind of naturally defaults to, he's going to rise to the occasion and he's going to give his all and he's going to do his best. Even if he needs to work on his passing, his gameplay reading and stuff like that, um, he will do the best that he can, and he will rise to the occasion. He's a great rusher. Obviously, I think he's great at holding the ball and not getting tackled and keeping on his feet. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you got to give him the fact that, like, he can have the ball and people are trying to tackle him, and people are trying to tackle him. And not just because he's a quarterback, but I think because of the fact that he is who he is, because he's had so much media spotlight on him, people will try to attack him purposely and try to get hits on him. And I noticed that a lot during college games, too, especially against the Seminoles. Not going to go into that, but they would just purposely, try to go out and hit the good players, one of them being Tim Tebow, because they wanted to get a hit on Tim Tebow. Um, but it's football. Sometimes it can be dirty, whatever. Um, but anyways, he managed to stay on his feet in the NFL and do all that stuff. So I think he might lack on his throwing stats, but he is amazing at other stats. And I think his throwing and his passing, his playmaking, reading abilities is going to improve. Like I think it comes with playing the game and getting out there and getting the experience. And I think he gives his heart and he does his best to like improve where he has faults. Like I don't think he believes that he's the best in the world, but I think he knows that he can achieve great things if he puts his mind to it. And I think that's what makes him perfect for the position of quarterback, even though other people may not agree. Um, I agree. So regardless, I just think LA wanted him to fail. And as soon as the whole Manning trade came up, I just knew that he was going to do his best to get Manning and get rid of Tua because I think that was the only way he could get rid of Tua because there was so much press on him. But the only way that it would be um, doable is that if he got Manning to replace him. So, you know, um, I'm happy that at least they traded him because I feel like Elway didn't really want him there. He might have respected him as a person, but not as a player. And I think it would suck for Tebow being starting quarterback to suddenly, you know, have fought and done what he did, like, gone out and did what he did for the team, as far as bringing them back a horrible 1-4 under Orton to, to as far as they got under Tebow. And the team, I mean, throw out that the team came together and played harder. And I think they played harder because they had the leadership of Tebow. Does that make sense? Like under Orton, like I'd see him go out there and he'd throw it, and then he just kind of looked defeated. And it used to frustrate me. I'm like, why aren't they playing Tebow? I think I was one of those fans that was like, get Tebow out there because Tim, like, becomes a beast on the field. Like, he gets that mentality. He gets that we're not going to go out and we're not going to fail. We're going to put our all into it. And I think he helps motivate the team. And as a result, the team goes out and plays harder. You know what I mean? And I noticed that. Like, that the team started playing better. I was like, thank you, finally. I mean, some things were lacking, and I'm not going to start naming players that I felt needed to step up. But other players I saw immensely step up. And I was like, okay, that's just a difference in leadership. And I think that's what Tim brings to the team, but whatever. I'm glad that he got traded to the Jets in the sense that, you know, at least he wasn't replaced on the team that he already has from being a starter to backup. It sucks that he's kind of defaulting to backup because, you know, Sanchez is already the leader of the Jets, but I'm kind of hoping that, um, given a few games, Tito will find it at the start and then he'll get some playing time. I would love for him to be the starter, but I get that Sanchez has seniority because it is the team that he's already um, playing for and that he's already been paid like the next few years. So it is what it is. I'm hoping that this will be a good season. I'm hoping that the Jets as a team can come together because I heard that they're already having, or that they were having drama last season, even supporting um, Sanchez as a quarterback. So I'm hoping the team members can all put aside their differences and play together as a team and get them towards the Super Bowl. I would like to see that happen. And I'd like to see, you know, Tim get to a point where, you know, he proves Elway wrong. He proves to Elway what a huge mistake it was trading him to another team. But since I didn't have a main team that I followed, I'm going to be supporting the Jets now because I follow Tebow as a player. And I guess that's just my 2 cents. I'm rooting for Tebow to go out there and prove his naysayers wrong and prove his supporters right. And I am one of those supporters. So go Tim, go Jets. I'm excited for the season. Hopefully it gets play time. And yeah, that's just my 2 cents. So thanks. Agree, disagree. It is what it is. I'm supporting Tebow. So yeah, anyways, thanks for listening. Sorry it was so long. Talk to you guys later. Bye.